A woman waits on a beach, the tide whispering against the shore. She thinks she's meeting a producer. Instead, hands grab her from behind, a sack pulled over her head, and a van door slams shut. Hundreds of miles away, a man searches for her, unaware that his own fate is already sealed by an order signed in secret. This is not fiction. This is not a movie plot. This is the true story of how cinema itself became a weapon, and how two artists were forced to live inside the most dangerous film ever made. By the late 1970s, was a giant of Asian cinema. Known for his relentless work ethic and creative ambition, he had built a film empire in South Korea, producing dozens of movies and launching careers. His ex-wife was one of the most famous actresses in the country, adored for her elegance and emotional range. Though divorced, their professional bond and personal history remained deeply intertwined. Across the border, another man was watching movies obsessively, was not yet the supreme leader, but he already wielded enormous power. More importantly, he was a fanatic of cinema. He believed films could mold ideology, inspire loyalty, and project national strength. There was just one problem. North Korean movies, in his eyes, were dull, predictable, and lifeless. He wanted masterpieces, and he wanted the best filmmakers alive to create them. He decided to steal them. In January 1978, Choi Eun-hee traveled to Hong Kong after being invited to discuss a potential film project. It sounded routine. She had done this many times before. One afternoon, she went to a beach meeting arranged by supposed producers. That was when everything went wrong. She was abducted, drugged, and smuggled by boat to North Korea. When Choi awoke, she was not interrogated or tortured. She was welcomed, lavishly. She was given a beautiful home, fine clothes, and personal escorts. Soon, she was brought before Kim Jong-il himself. He praised her talent, spoke passionately about art, and told her she would help transform North Korean cinema. The message beneath the politeness was unmistakable. She was not a guest. She was property. Back in South Korea, Shin Sang-ok searched desperately for his missing ex-wife. Following leads took him to Hong Kong, where he, too, vanished. His kidnapping was less elegant. After realizing he had been deceived, Shin attempted to escape multiple times. For this defiance, he was imprisoned. Not for days or weeks, but years. While Choi lived under watchful luxury, Shin endured re-education camps and brutal confinement. He was starved, beaten, and isolated. His crime was independence. Kim Jong-il wanted obedience first, genius second. Eventually, Shin broke. Or at least, he pretended to. After 5 years of separation, Shin and Choi were reunited in North Korea. The reunion was staged, carefully monitored, and filmed. Kim Jong-il explained that they would now work together for him. Their reward would be comfort. Their punishment for refusal was unthinkable. What followed was one of the strangest chapters in film history. Given unlimited budgets, access to resources, and personal instruction from Kim Jong-il himself, Shin began directing movies in North Korea. He was expected to elevate propaganda into art, and disturbingly, he succeeded. His films featured dynamic storytelling, emotional depth, and even technical innovations unseen in previous North Korean cinema. One production involved importing thousands of extras. Another required kidnapping a Japanese monster movie director to help create a North Korean Godzilla-style film. To Kim Jong-il, nothing was too extreme if it served cinematic glory. Yet every success tightened the leash. The more valuable Shin and Choi became, the harder it was to imagine escape. They lived under constant surveillance. Every conversation might be recorded. Every smile could be misinterpreted. But slowly, over years, they built trust, not with their captors, but with each other. They whispered when music played. They tested which rooms were safe. They memorized each detail like characters planning the third act of a thriller. Their chance came in 1986. Kim Jong-il allowed them to travel to Europe to negotiate a film deal. For the first time in 8 years, they were outside North Korea. still guarded, still watched, but breathing freer air. In Vienna, they made their move. Slipping away from their handlers under the pretense of a meeting, Shin and Choi ran. Not to a hiding place, but straight into an American embassy. Inside, they told everything. The kidnappings, the imprisonment, the forced filmmaking, the tapes Shin had secretly recorded over years, capturing Kim Jong-il's own voice admitting the abductions. For North Korea, it was a catastrophic embarrassment. For Kim Jong-il, it was a personal betrayal. For Shin and Choi, it was survival. Their escape shocked the world. Many initially doubted their story. It sounded too cinematic, too implausible. But the evidence was undeniable. Their recordings played like a confession delivered by a dictator obsessed with film, power, and control. After resettling abroad and continued working in cinema, though their lives were forever marked by captivity, they had lived a paradox, treated as artists, trapped as prisoners, forced to create beauty inside a system built on fear. This story lingers not just because of its espionage and danger, but because of what it reveals about art itself. Film can inspire, film can manipulate, and in the wrong hands, film can become a cage, and survived because they understood narrative better than their captor. They waited for the right moment, shaped the story, and chose the perfect ending. They escaped the movie he tried to trap them in, and turned it into one the world would never forget.